What's up, Bills Mafia? Harrison Graham from Chat Sports here with another episode on the Bills Breakdown. And on today's show, I'm going to go through my 5-step perfect Buffalo Bills offseason plan as they were oh so close to a Super Bowl appearance. What can they do? What can they shake up to try and get there next year? A couple of thoughts here on today's show. Number one, and this will be controversial, I would imagine, among Bills fans, cut Von Miller. The Bills are not in a great salary cap standing. In fact, they're a little below. They're actually in the red, about negative $7 million. So they're going to have to make some moves. Now, you could do some minor cuts or restructurings, et cetera. You could certainly keep Von Miller if you want. But his cap hit of almost $24 million, like, to me, he's just a really good rotation player at this point. At his age, with his injury history, he's not going to play all 17 games. He's not going to play 80% of snaps per game. I just think it's too big of a number. Now, if he would take a pay cut, I'd be open to that. Not sure he will. But if you pre-June 1 cut him, you save $8.5 million, which, I don't know. If you post-June 1 him, though, it's 17.4, and you get 2 designations now with the new rules where you can post-June 1 somebody, but before June 1st, and still get that cap relief right away, and Von Miller would be free to sign elsewhere. I know he's still a solid player, but he's not elite anymore, and he's not worth what he makes. I would designate him as one of my 2 post-June 1 cuts, and I would allocate resources elsewhere because even though he could still make splash plays from time to time, he's not an every game wrecker anymore. He kind of comes and goes, and that's not worth $24 million, especially when you're not in a great salary cap situation. All right, we'll get to step 2 in a second, but first, we launched this channel very recently. So did our Jets channel. We're growing at Chat Sports, filling out the AFC East here. And listen, I am challenging Patrick Seatman and the Jets Report to a subscriber battle. We're starting at 0-0 as of tonight. Let's see who gets more subscribers. You want to take down the Jets, those frauds, and Aaron Rodgers, hit that sub button. And, of course, we'll continue to bring you Bills videos as well. Okay, number 2. Upgrade from Damar Hamlin. I'm not trying to be, insensitive. Damar is an incredible story and actually a decent player. I think he's an excellent number 3 safety. He's not a starter. Like, he's a better story than player. Like, I'm not trying to be harsh, but that's just the reality of the situation. The Bills' secondary, and especially at safety, I think we saw the issues down the stretch. And in this game against the Chiefs offense, who, let's face it, was not like a top 3, top 5 unit this year. We know Mahomes elevates, obviously. But, ideally, you get a higher quality player next to Taylor Rapp on the back end. If Hamlin wants to return as your number 3 safety, I got no problem with that. I just think you can do better there, and you need to do better, to be quite frank. There's some notable names out there now. You're probably not going to be able to pay for a Justin Reed or a Javon Holland, but Justin Simmons at his age, I think he played for like $8 million this year. I mean, he could be someone you could get. Jeremy Chin, Andre Cisco. Cisco might look for a big payday first time he's hitting free agency, but Chin's a young, affordable player. I think you can get someone in here for $5, $6, $7 million that can give you better play than Damar Hamlin. And you pair that player with Taylor Rapp, who, by the way, has injury issues of his own. So I just think safety in general is a spot you need to upgrade. Okay, number 3, Marquise Brown. Bring him in. Again, you're not going to have a ton of cap flexibility, but I would say Curtis Samuel was a pretty big disappointment. I think Marquise Brown is a more dynamic player. He can run more routes, and considering he missed most of this season, he's cheap, and I think he's an upgrade from Curtis Samuel. I think you're talking about 1-2 years, $6 to $8 million per year. I think that's what you can get Marquise Brown on. I think the Bills at times missed the deep ball threat this year. Khalil Shakir gives you some of that. Brown can certainly give you more. They were hoping Samuel was going to be a big play weapon, had less than 300 yards receiving. So obviously Amari Cooper didn't really work out. He's a free agent. I don't expect him to be back. So you get Marquise Brown on an affordable 1 to 2 year deal. I like that move. Generate more big plays in the passing game. What say you? Should the Bills sign Marquise Hollywood Brown? Type S for sign or P for pass. Give us your thoughts, Bills Mafia. I say bring him in. Number 4, draft a pass rusher, and I mean one pretty high. First, second round, day 1, day 2. Bills were okay at getting after the quarterback last year. 18th in the NFL, 39 sacks. Certainly not bad, but you need more. You can't have what they had this year, which was an average pass rush and an average secondary. Like, ideally, those either are both above average, which has kind of been my proposal here, upgrade at safety, add a pass rusher, or one of those position groups has to be premium. I think if you make, at least a decent upgrade to both, then you're feeling pretty good. Maybe you can get more in like top 12 range in both of those areas. I think you can find a good pass rusher in this draft at 30. It's a deep group. Defensive tackles, defensive end, two of the stronger groups in this draft. So I would take someone there. A guy like Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss could be in that range. Princely Uman Milene, his teammate as well. Texas A&M has a couple of guys in this draft. Like, there's going to be guys that fall and are sitting in your lap at 30. The Boston College kid is another one. So I think you find someone there and beef up this pass rush. And then I would bring back Rasul Douglas. He didn't have a great year, but I think, you want to keep the good players you have in your secondary intact because it was an average group this year. I think Douglas helps you do that. You can't afford for your secondary to get any weaker. Obviously, if they let a guy like Damar Hamlin go as a starter, that's one thing. For most teams, he'd be a backup. Douglas will be a starter wherever he's playing next year. So I think you bring him back, which the way you're able to do that is with the Von Miller move, which I mentioned as well. So keep that in mind. I think he's a player you want to keep around for 2025. All right, there you go. 5-step offseason plan for the Buffalo Bills. What is your number one thing, in your opinion, that the Bills need to do this offseason? Other things you could do, you could restructure Josh Allen, kick even more money down the road, but he's only making $43 million against the cap next year. It's actually not a bad number, so maybe they just let that ride. But if they want to create more space, they could restructure him. Let us know in the comment section down below what you would like to do, and don't forget to subscribe to us here at the Bills Breakdown. We're trying to take down the Jets Report and new subscribers this week, so let's make it happen. My name is Harrison Graham. We'll see you guys soon.